Afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful episode of the Business Spotlight interview. Raining outside, but we've got some sunshine in front of us. We've got Kerry from Letterbox Love. Kerry, tell us all about your business.
I run a business called Letterbox Love. So I run that with my partner Lee. I'm so sorry about that. We have an office dog here. He is head of team morale, by the way. Letterbox Love, we started in the first national lockdown, and what we do as a business is we send out meaningful and affordable jewelry gifts. So we started out by sending it, from door to door in the middle of the pandemic when we couldn't see our loved ones. I wrote all of the poems myself, and then we attached, nice bracelets and sentiments and things like that to go with it. And then it kind of just escalated from that point. So my partner and myself both quit our jobs in early 2021 we just saw so much potential in Letterbox Love. So we decided let's just go for it. We're never going to get another opportunity. And that's kind of the one good thing that came out of the pandemic for us personally was the time to try and invest in this and just kind of get out the rat race for a little bit and finally do something that we both really enjoy and we both love. So very different backgrounds, but yeah. Here we are with Letterbox Love 4 years later. So we're coming up to our fourth birthday at the end of April. So yeah, it's been a wild few years.
Absolutely brilliant. So, where did you get the idea from?
So it always sounds a bit kind of a bit cringe, really, a bit cliche. But when we were on the kind of the verge of going into the pandemic, it was just so terrifying, and it really was scary for so many people, and I didn't really know how to deal with that myself. So I started writing poems because I felt I had an idea that whenever we send gifts to people in the post, there's never or for me at the time, I didn't see anything that was for people that didn't necessarily warrant a card and was cheaper than a bunch of flowers, and I couldn't find anything in the market that offered that. So people that were struggling with their mental health, which obviously was happening quite a lot of the time, we were all scared, we missed each other. So I started writing poems that could kind of angled at those people that were struggling a little bit. And for somebody that could send that to a loved one. And that's what we did. So, our bracelets kind of, the vast majority are less than £10. And your average bunch of flowers now. I love florists, by the way. I still expect them from my husband, but at the time I just wanted to create something that was a little bit cheaper than a bunch of flowers because it's not about being able to kind of cost the earth. So that's how it all started, and it just kind of escalated from there.
So, it was a bright idea about helping people through the pandemic and giving them letterbox love.
Absolutely, yeah, posting positivities, that's what we did.
Fantastic. You're sitting there in Ripley thinking about this idea, and a business has been formed and it's been trading 4 years.
It has, yeah. We're coming up to our fourth year now. So we started out by just sending them door to door so people could buy them online on our different kind of sales platforms. And then we started selling into shops kind of shortly after, really. I think we were about 18 months into the business, and that was a huge learning curve for us. But as soon as we started selling into shops, it just kind of changed the game for us. And then we were getting noticed quite a bit as well by kind of bigger clients, and then bigger stores wanted to find out a bit more about us. And we're now stocked in shops all over the world, which is it's just incredible. We actually had, I had a family member go to a gift shop recently in Georgia, Atlanta, and they took a photo of a Letterbox Love stand and sent it to me. And I was like, that is crazy.
That's actually what a brilliant story. What a brilliant story. Now, you've actually won awards, haven't you?
Yeah, so I think that the most kind of poignant one for us was we won the Great British Entrepreneur Award in 2022. So that was in November. And that was massive. I think it was a really big confidence boost for us, as well as kind of two young entrepreneurs that were setting out. And I think at that time it was, it was all of a sudden things were feeling this is real now. And then we went into this award ceremony and we were sat next to some really, really big deals, we had a pure imposter syndrome, and people were asking us like what we did, and I think I downplayed it because I just thought, I just have this little gifting business, like I didn't belong there. And then when we won, I think my face was a picture. I think there's a picture of me on Instagram, just like the ugliest crying face. because it was just so surreal. But yeah, that is probably one of the proudest moments in my life. It was just amazing.
Fantastic. What a wonderful story. So you mentioned you've learned quite a lot over the
Yes.
last few years. So what has been your biggest learning?
I think my biggest learning is to cope with not knowing everything. I think a lot of business owners, especially me, kind of went into business thinking, well, I need to know everything. People look at tax and then just go, oh, I should know everything. You don't know everything. You're learning as you go. Things are quite scary. The government are always kind of changing rules and regulations, and there's always new compliances coming out, and you're learning to do that every step of the way. And I think the biggest learning curve I found there was you're not expected to know everything from the off. You don't just go into business and be like, well, I just know what I'm doing. And to be vulnerable is such a big thing, and to ask questions and learn and ask for help. We wouldn't be where we are if we kind of went into this assuming we know it all. The other business owners that help us and give us advice and support, and we do the same back with them, has been absolutely invaluable. So I think that for us, that kind of steep learning curve of it's okay not to know everything, because that used to really trigger my anxiety. I'd be like, we're doing something wrong, because I was so conscious of that. You don't really have anybody to compare yourself to in business. So you don't really know what if you're doing something right or wrong, really. So it can feel quite lonely, but it's just it's just being vulnerable, I think, was quite a hard thing to just do. But we've best thing we could do, really. And I'd definitely advise anyone that's doing that in business to ask questions. It's okay to not know everything. And we still
Fantastic.
don't.
And did you ever always want your own business?
Honestly, I'd never really thought about it. I think when I was younger, I think I always cringe a bit when somebody says the word entrepreneur. Like I don't know, I just don't class myself as one, but I probably am one. But when I was younger, I used to do I used to buy things off a car boot sale and used to sell it on Etsy, on eBay. And that would be my pocket money. So I'd always find ways of kind of making money from such a young age. And I loved it. I loved selling. So then I went into a sales role. And then when I met my partner, he is so different to me. It's unbelievable. So he's so analytically minded. He's good with numbers. He loves a spreadsheet. And I could not be more opposite if I tried. And we kind of sat down in early years of our relationship. Oh, imagine if we ran a business together, it'd be amazing, with your skills and my skill set. But we never really knew what that would be. And then it just kind of happened out of nowhere that, this business came about. We both had really good jobs. We were well paid, they were good companies, we had no complaints. So a lot of the time you hear stories about how people were made redundant or, they had an awful time. And we didn't have that. We were really fortunate. We just wanted to do this for ourselves. And we just had the attitude of, well, if it doesn't work out, we're both employable. Let's just give it a go. That's what we did.
Absolutely fantastic. So what do you see as the main challenges going forward?
I think in the main challenges going forward, I think as the business is getting bigger, cash flow is always people talk about cash flow and not necessarily know what it means. And obviously, it is money in, money out, payment terms, things like that. I think if that's not looked after really, really carefully, then it can sting you. And I think it's about kind of just really it's the risk side of it, isn't it? You want to take big risks, you want to be able to do it, but do it in a conservative way, where it's not going to completely trip you up. So I think that for us now as a fast growing business is one of the things that we've really got to kind of look at and be careful with now. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So what do you actually attribute your growth to?
There's a number of factors. There really is a number of factors. I think because we're a married couple, we can talk to each other, all the time. We know what the other one's thinking before they've said it. We get on really, really well. And I think having people around us that care and have supported us there's just been, there's no words to describe it. I think people buy from people, and if there's one thing Liam and me are good at, and it's just being ourselves, and we don't try and dress up as something we're not. We don't go into meetings like we're about to kind of win The Apprentice. We're quite humble and we're quite honest, and I think it's got us far because people know where they stand with us. So if somebody gives us a job to do, so for example, a new client, can you do this? I'll be really honest with them. If I can't do it, I'll tell them every step of the way. And I think that kind of honesty and transparency and just being a really authentic version of ourselves has got us this far. We always said when we go into business, we are not going to be that kind of really corporate, stiff business. We're just going to be us. We see life as sometimes a bit of a game. It's hard. Of course it's hard, but it's like anything. And, sometimes you've just got to take yourself out of that mindset and be like, do you know what? We're on a floating rock in the middle of space. It's okay. Going to be okay. Let's just bring ourselves back to earth a little bit here. So yeah, that as mindset has, I think, really helped us. But definitely kind of going from an e-commerce to trade has been a huge win for this business. Yeah. Those two things together.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. So finally, what is the best advice you give to an 18-year-old you?
I think to an 18-year-old me, I'd give a lot of kind of reassurance. And I was always an 18-year-old. I think I started to lack confidence as I kind of came into my really early 20s. And I think I would just say things are going to get better. Like things are going to be better than you can ever imagine. And I think hope is such a powerful thing. And I think if I could have given that 18-year-old self so much hope, I probably wouldn't have gone through kind of that late teens and early 20s with so much anxiety and low self-esteem. I think I'd have just been buzzing for what's about to come, And I think we should all be like that. And it's easier said than done. I'm still not like that. I still really, really struggle with my anxiety. That's why this business came about. So I kind of look at that whole experience as actually, if without that, I probably wouldn't be able to write these poems and really kind of relate to these people going through these issues because I hadn't done it myself. So it's helped me in that sense. So probably I'd have said as well, look, whatever you're about to go through, it's okay. It's all for a reason. It's going to help you in the long game.
Fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Some great learnings and great shares for us all there, Kerry. So thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure.